welcome to CCG TV's podcast program. Hi, I'm Michael King, and this program is called Talking Trash. We're going to be talking trash today. First of all, let me introduce our beautiful hostess, Miss Tiasha Hollis. Tiasha, how are you today?
I'm great. I feel like I'm on Family Feud or something.
Okay. Well, okay. You know, you are. We're family.
Right.
Sometimes we feud. But speaking of talking trash, and this program is going to be a series of podcast program talking about the play on word that we're using, talking trash. Tell us who our guest is going to be here today.
Okay, first we have Miss Drell Short, the Public Works Director. Let's give her a hand.
All right.
And then we also have Mr. John Pittman. He is the Integrated Waste Director for Public Works as well.
Okay. All right, John and Drell, let's jump right in here. I mean, you guys send me some Q&A, some questions and stuff, but we don't want to do that. Okay. We want to talk about what the heck, in the words of the late great Marvin Gaye, what's going on?
There's so much going on in trash right now.
Okay. Come on a little closer to the microphones. We want the people to hear you here.
Yeah, not a problem.
Drell.
There's a lot going on in trash, especially in Muskogee County right now. We are trying to move our community into a more efficient, more effective, and especially a cleaner city by automating our waste collection services, as well as making some changes in how things are done.
Okay, well, you know, you say move the citizens, and most people, all they want to do is just take the trash out and leave it on the road, and y'all come and get it. So what's the big deal?
Well, you know, first and foremost, people have to understand that there are a lot of components to waste collection. Number one, as you know, we have recycling. You have yard waste collection, and then you have standard household waste collection. And because we have different landfills for these items, you can't just assume that everything's going to go on one truck and then it's going to be disposed of. We are recycling to improve and to increase the lifespan of our landfill, first and foremost, because when we're retired, when we are older and our children are here, they need to have some place to put their waste. So it's really important that they understand that there's a method to the madness and there's a reason for it. And the reason is to improve what we're doing in our community, not for just today, but for the future.
Tiasha, you are our Director of Communications, and you were also over our 311 system at one time, and I know you got a lot of calls and stuff. Right. Let's talk about some of the stuff that you hear and what type of explanation that you give them.
Well, like you said, I was once the director for 311 call center, so our number one call was always talking them trash. We get any calls from they miss my garbage to I have a pile of limbs. I also have a couch out there that's all combobulated, and we expect for our sanitation crews to come pick it up. Of course, we take all calls, but of course, there's certain ways that citizens must put out the trash in order for sanitation to pick up. So that is our number one call downstairs in the call center. And we also get calls for late putouts. Sometimes citizens forget that it's trash day, so they want to run their can on down to the road, but the trash has already came. Yep. And they call us and tell us, oh, well, they missed my trash. But in all duality, you didn't have your trash out on time. So we ask that all citizens please put out your trash before 7:30 a.m. the morning of pickup, so we can make sure that it's picked up in a timely fashion.
Well, I know that because in your new role, the capacity, you're sort of like the spokesperson for the city, being Director of Communication. Now, I know you got a lot of questions to ask. What I'm going to do, this is your show.
Okay.
This is your show. Okay. I'm going to let you ask the rest of the questions. So
No
I'm going to
problem.
sit back and just listen, okay?
Okay, can we get some music?
All right.
Some say e-cigarettes aren't dangerous,
But science shows nicotine can harm teens' developing brains.
no matter how they're exposed.
Let's do an experiment to find out.
Here's a teen who won't be using e-cigarettes.
Now we need one willing to risk their brain development.
Anyone care to volunteer your kid?
Anyone?
I'm Dr. Vivek Murthy, U.S. Surgeon General. Your kids are not an experiment. Protect them from e-cigarettes.
All right. So one of my first questions is we want to know what is the advantages of making sure citizens use one card to place all of their trash in? What is our advantages? And also what other communities are doing this?
Well, the advantages of going to a one cart system and putting your garbage into one container is that it's a much more efficient, much more effective, and it also enhances the community as far as appearance. There are a lot of cities and states that are doing the one cart system, putting everything into one cart. All over Georgia, Florida, Alabama. We got a lot of. This is a best practice that we are trying to implement into Muskogee County and City of Columbus. And once we get it implemented, right now we're currently working 6 days a week. We have an ineffective operation that we're running now. So we're trying to eliminate the additional truck that goes through and pick up the trash that's on the ground right now. Normally we would only run 16 trucks, and that would take care of all the automated containers that are put out on the curb. And then we have to send an additional 16 rear loaders with labor on the back to pick up the garbage that's on the ground. So by making this transition, putting it in one cart will certainly transform our operation. It will make it more efficient, more effective, a better operation overall. As when it comes to the appearance and the operation of integrated waste. So we're excited. Okay. We're looking forward to this, making this transition. We're doing everything that we can. We're just trying to get into a normal process, and that process is working 4 days a week, not having to work the Wednesdays and Saturdays as we're currently doing now. We're just, once we get that implemented, we'll be able to move forward. And also, in that part, that makes it better if we can just make sure that everything is on the curb at the same time. We want to also implement, putting your garbage out on the same day as your recycling, all these different things to make it better for the customer, to make it better for the operation. I want to come in your neighborhood over there where you live at one time a week.
Right.
And I want to pick up everything. So that's going to make us better. That's going to make us much more efficient going forward in the future. So.
Okay. And I hear that you said that you normally work a 4-day work schedule, but now recently you're doing a 6-day. So how has that affected the employees in, spending time with family, planning for events, and just pretty much wearing their bodies out? How has that affected the department?
Initially, it was good, but now that we've been trending since December, since December, we're wearing our staff out,
right?
And we're trying to be creative and find ways to get them time off to spend with their families. By implementing this one car system, it would certainly allow us to get back to a normal schedule and to be able for our staff to have those Wednesdays off and those Saturdays off that they can spend with their families, take care of their appointments and hang out with their family. That's something that we need. That's we're trying to create a healthy balance within our operation.
Okay. So Drell, can you tell me how does the one cart system work? How is citizens supposed to put their trash out, and tell me how it happens as far as the trucks and the citizens.
Okay.
What are the citizens supposed to do and the driver?
So right now, in order for us to make sure that we're picking up all of the waste, we are literally duplicating services in the same day. So the one cart system is designed to only require one truck to come through to pick up that waste. Right now, we've got the blue cart, which is for recycling, and everybody has been doing recycling, the one cart system for years. If you think about it, we initially introduced the side loaders to our community almost 10 years ago with recycling. So they've been utilizing the one cart system, just not recognizing that it's the same thing, if that makes any sense to you, right? So with the one cart system, you've got one truck that comes through that's designed and is assigned to pick up a certain item. If you don't put everything in the cart, what happens is, and if you know what the side loader looks like, it has an automatic arm that reaches out and picks up the cart. If you have anything on the ground in a box or in a cart that is not designed for that side loader, it cannot collect it, which means somebody physically has to come behind that truck which is what we're doing right now, to collect that ground waste. That's what we call ground waste. So if you've got boxes and you know you're going to have a lot of boxes, just get ready. You've got to break them down, put as many of them into your cart as you can. And of course, if you know that you're moving or you're moving in and you've got a larger amount than normal, then please give us a call. We will work it out with you. We'd rather do that than you place it on the right of way and then it not be able to be picked up by the automatic side loader. So it's really important that our community understand this is not new. Like I said, we've been doing it for the last 10 years for recycling. Now we're asking you to do it for your household waste and your yard waste.
Okay, sounds good. So my next question is, so how can, if I have a large family, and I recycle like I'm supposed to, but I
Right.
still have a lot of trash.
Right.
What can I do? Can I go and purchase my own container?
Well,
from
we
stores,
have
or-
been approved to provide or to sell, if you will, to our community, those that want an additional cart at a $55 rate. That is the cost for the cart for the city of Columbus. But what I want our community to recognize is that we don't want you to have to buy that additional cart. What we need you to do is to call us if you feel like you've got an abundance amount of trash and that you need that second cart before you make that investment. Call us. Let us come out there and audit your trash on your collection day, and we will show you how you can reduce the amount of waste that you're generating for your black cart by utilizing your blue cart, which is your recycling cart.
Okay, so you say you're going to come out there and
Mhm.
audit my
Yeah,
trash.
audit
So
it.
you're going to
That's
actually
right.
go
We're
through my
we're
trash?
gonna go through your trash. We're
Oh,
gonna now
okay.
understand. We're gonna glove up now.
Okay.
We understand that we need to be safe and we need to be sanitary, but we are literally gonna glove up and we're gonna go through your trash and we're going to toss out the things that should be in your recycling container.
Now
and
y'all
show
talking
you how-
trash. Y'all
we
are
talking
really,
trash.
really
Now, let me
talking.
tell you something. We are the
Yeah.
experts of trash. So we are going to literally toss out those things that don't belong in your black cart that need to go in the blue cart
That's right.
and show you how much your waste is going to be reduced just by the efforts of recycling.
Sounds good. So after you do that
Mhm.
and say, oh, you still have a lot of trash,
Mm-hmm.
who do they call for? What do I do from there?
Well, they need to call 311 and put in a request for an additional cart, and we will provide them with that additional cart at that cost of $55 for the cart. They won't be charged any additional funding from that point forward for the servicing of that cart, but they have to purchase the cart.
Do they purchase it at that particular time, or will they be billed at the next billing cycle?
Right,
How does that
so-
work?
Well, right now we're still working it out with the waterworks on how we're going to be able to attach that to the billing. But what will happen literally is that when they call 311 and state to the individual, I'd like to get an additional cart. I hope, and I'm going to be speaking with the director, that they ask them, have you been audited yet for your trash? And if they say no, then for them to make the recommendation that they get audited before they make the investment. Now, if the person is just gung-ho and wants that additional cart, then they will be asked to give them their waterworks number, their customer number, their address, their phone number, and their name. And then they will send that to Waste Collection, who will confirm the address, that it's a serviceable address, and they will provide them and deliver the cart for them, and then we will send it to the waterworks, who will attach it to the next bill.
Okay, I got 6 kids. I'm broke because I'm trying to feed 6 kids.
You need an audit.
How is there any provision, hardship provision for people to get a cart if that $55 just don't fit their budget?
Well, that is something that has been recommended by our council, and at this point, we don't have a fee set for that purpose, but they are still in discussions for that. So I am hopeful that that will happen. But again, even with 6 kids, a 96-gallon cart, understand, is designed to handle a standard family of 4. So if you're aggressive with your recycling activities, then you should still be able to utilize that one cart because you're getting picked up every single week.
That's correct.
Because you don't need to put the plastic
No.
milk carton in there. That could go into recycle.
That's
There's a
right.
lot of recyclable stuff that you're putting in your regular household trash.
that needs to go in recycling.
I mean, what's the problem? You guys come and pick my trash up. I mean, so y'all working 6-7 days a week. Is that a problem?
Yes, it's a problem. They're
Major.
tired.
Yes.
They are absolutely tired. When you're talking working
Yeah.
10 to 12 hours a day. And now understand that we are sending out the original truck as it's designed, right? But then we're having to send another truck to pick up the ground waste. That driver for that second round that's following that ASL then has to come back and start on a different route picking up yard waste. So they're doing 2 jobs at one time in one day.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot for us to ask of our employees. I
Right.
mean, they are already coming in. And let me tell you something. The one thing I love about the ASL is it gives them the ability to take ownership of their routes, right? I see drivers coming in, they are coming in they are in their trucks and rolling at 7 a.m. because they want to get on their route, get it done, and come back in. But when they come back in, we're sending them right back out
Yeah.
because we are not utilizing the one cart system in our community at this time for household waste.
Right.
And the one cart system actually helped with curb appeal. I know when going in my
does.
personal neighborhood,
Yeah.
you know, on garbage day, I prefer to see just one trash can
Yes.
on your recycling container versus trash
It
and
does.
piles. Instead of a pile of trash
That's right.
and your cans. So
That's right.
with curb appeal, it helps, and
It
with litter
helps.
blowing everywhere,
Blowing everywhere.
Yeah.
it just helps the city overall be
It does,
clean.
and it makes it look organized, and that's
Right.
one thing that I love. I love to see it organized. But
Yep.
even more importantly, you know, as we evolve in waste collection and understand that waste collection is evolving every day, just like all the other services that we provide, right? You can go into any community, and if they've got the one cart system, you see the difference, and that is something that we need to see here. We need to clean up Columbus.
Mhm.
We need to get it up, and we need to enact and embrace the one cart system so that our communities look well.
Right. And you said the trash can is $55 if you want an additional cart.
That's right.
But I know you mentioned that you were at a convention and they were offering trash cans for how much?
$245.
That's just ridiculous.
But it was a pretty cart. Now you know I'm in the trash when I say it's a pretty cart, right?
It's pretty.
I
It's
walked up
pretty.
there, and we're talking about the Waste Expo for the year, and that's where everybody in the United States and overseas come to one location, and they look at all the stuff coming up in waste. You wouldn't think that many people, but it's hundreds of thousands of people at this location, and they're showing the future for waste collection, right? And so we walk by, and I see Bear Cart, and I'm thinking, Bear Cart? I'm like, ooh. I even told John, I said, that's a pretty cart. And it has a locking mechanism on it and everything like this, but it's designed for bears, to keep bears out. So if we were in Washington State, for example, or Iowa or someplace like that in the mountains or something, and we had issues with bears, it will turn over, but it won't open.
Right.
Wow.
It has a locking mechanism that's controlled by the arm, and when it comes up, it's still a one cart system now. It opens at that point in time, but I was like, $245. That's about 4 pair of shoes. And, I was like, I'm not buying that. I couldn't bring that back to Columbus and say,
No.
buy a bear cart.
So-
But it was a nice cart.
You know, and you talk about an area like Washington State and the issues they have. What would you say is the issue for Columbus, Georgia, in terms of getting people to get on board with this one cart system?
I think it's just change. You know, people just have a hard time with change, regardless. It can be something that's in their own household that's going to have to change, and they just have a challenging time adjusting to it. So I think it's change, but I think if they look at what we've been doing for the last 10 years for recycling, it will connect. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that it's just a matter of utilizing the process, and then they'll be like, well, what were we worried about?
Right.
Yeah.
They're still getting up on the truck. What was I worried about?
And we need to come current to today's time.
We need to come current
Change
to
is
today's
good.
time. That's right. Change is always good.
Yeah.
Change is always good.
In our surrounding communities,
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix City, Russell County,
Mm-hmm. They
you-
utilize the one cart
the
system.
one cart system,
They
they're not picking up trash bags on the road.
Nope.
They're not
They
going
are
to pick it
not.
up. They're going to
not.
pick up the cart, and that's it.
That's it. And this is a much smaller community.
Yeah.
So we have, a population of 271,000, I believe it is. We have about 56,000 households, residential, single-family households that we are collecting on a weekly basis. So we need them to agree with us and work with us and embrace this system so that we can stop expending so many unnecessary resources towards the collection of waste when we can do it efficiently.
Let's talk about return on investment. How long and how many people, if you had to pick it up like you're doing, I've been doing, how long does it take to collect waste from each household versus the one cart system? Now I know you talk real cool because you're a Kappa man. I know how y'all. But
Real
let's
smooth.
speak up and explain that to me. Okay, gotcha.
Here we go.
You know, from house to house, when you got in an automated system, the cycle time, it takes you about, from the time you hit the can, it takes you about 15 seconds to pick it up, dump it, set it back down, and go to the next house. With the rear loader, it takes probably twice as long, and they're actually doing both sides of the street. And so by the time we go down one side and come back up the other side, you know, we will probably be done before. For the automated truck, we'll be done before the manual truck.
Right.
So it takes a little bit of time, but remember, you're only using one person versus three personnel to pick up with the old style rear loader, and that's something that we are trying to phase out and phase in the new system when it comes to the automated system. The system, might I add, is a user friendly system for not only for our operation but for the customer as well. All they got to do is just put it inside the cart.
Well, I know some people, I'm going to be the devil's advocate,
Okay.
and some people say, well, y'all are using prison labor. Let them pick it up. And I'm understanding that is not at the same level that you were using years ago.
That's true. Since COVID, our inmate availability has reduced dramatically. And in all honesty, we should not just depend on
Right.
the same old way of doing business. You know what I mean? We've got to be progressive. And this is a measure and a step in being progressive. And even still to today, if I may, we are still having an issue with getting the number of inmates that we need to work on the back of these trucks. And that's only simply not due to anything the prison is doing or anything of that nature, but there are security issues, there are medical issues, there are visitation issues. There are so many different factors that involve whether or not an inmate can be utilized on the back of the truck that it is just decreased.
And hopefully they're not being in prison, so they would have to do that.
Exactly. We don't want them in jail anyway.
We don't
so-
want them there. We
Yeah,
don't
No.
want them
we
there.
absolutely
Okay.
don't.
But what is the rate of pay now for the drivers?
Right now, our rate of pay is $21 an hour. That's something that started once our recent pay compensation study came into effect. But you know, for Columbus, that's really good right now. But we do recognize that there are other CDL operators that are making a lot more money that do the same thing. So Columbus is, you know, steadily growing, and we're trying to be progressive and be mindful of all of those things because we have the best drivers in the world. They have embraced the side loaders. Some of them, I'm telling you, you would think they've been doing that their entire life. The way that they handle the road and handle the cart and can do this and do, they are really good. And we want to make sure that they are appreciated for what they do and for the skill set that it takes to be able to do that job.
Sounds good.
Yep.
So anything else you would like to let the citizens know of Columbus?
Just the basics.
Just the basics.
The basics are what we say is make sure your cart is 3 feet apart.
3 feet apart.
You know, you put your cart out to make sure you're 3 feet apart. Nothing in front of it, nothing around it, nothing above it. Just make sure you got an open space and make sure that it's out by 7 a.m. and we will collect it. And another thing is that we want you to start practicing putting all your garbage into that one cart system.
That's correct.
And what Ms. Short said earlier, that we don't want you to purchase a second cart. We don't. And when we come out and we do an audit and you still got some trash left over, we will offer you a second recycling cart just so you won't have to, you know, purchase, a second cart. We want you to recycle. And that's a program that it's vibing right now in Columbus is recycling. We want you to recycle even more. And so if you can, you know, take that and run with that, you know, those are some tips of some things that we want to do. We want to help. That's our job. We want to make sure that we give you the best service. We want to make sure that we give you the best options when it comes to integrated waste, when it comes to recycling, when it comes to garbage, when it comes to yard waste, bulk items. We want to make sure that we have the solution for you that's going to work best for the customer.
Right. So the goal is to recycle recycle, and recycle,
And recycle.
and
That's
put
it.
everything of household garbage in that one black 95-gallon container.
That's right. And
That's
I
it.
just want to ask you guys a question. Let me flip the table here.
Uh-oh.
So when you all are driving through your neighborhoods, and Tiasha, specifically you, because I know you live in Muskogee County, how many households do you see that already have all of their carts out? They put out the black cart, the blue cart, and the green cart.
Pretty much everyone in my
Everyone.
neighborhood
That's
used
right.
one container.
That's right. And
One
so what
container.
in talking about the evolution of solid waste and waste management and how we collect, that's something else that we're going to be bringing to the forefront in the future is that we only want to have to come by your house one day a week, and we're
Right.
going to get everything on that one day. It'll be 3 different trucks, of course, because they all go to different landfills. But I live on a hill, and let me tell you something. I get tired of toting that doggone them cans up and down that hill because of the certain day. So I was just thrilled when the idea was presented to me. I thought, heck yeah, now I can only take them all down at one time, bring them up one time. So be looking for that. That's something that we're looking to also be able to present to our executive branch to get their approval in their favor and allowing us to do that because it makes sense.
Okay.
It makes absolute sense.
Okay. Anything else?
Hey, we're gonna have more conversation
Okay.
on this Talking Trash podcast program. The next time we're gonna be talking about recycling, the items that you can actually recycle. We're gonna get in depth in that. We're gonna talk about yard waste, things we can do to, because it brought up at one time that you had to come back for yard waste, and that's not the truth. We're going to talk about how that is being collected and when it's being collected. So there's a lot of stuff in Talking Trash that we're going to talk about. Just talking trash.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
Tiasha.
All right. Well, I thank you all
You're
for
welcome.
joining us.
Yep.
You're
And
welcome.
citizens, if you have anything, please call our 311 center at 706-653-4000. Thank you.